So you're PCSing soon and you'd like to take advantage of one of the amazing benefits granted to you as a member of the U.S. Armed Forces, your VA loan. My name is David Tortolini. I'm a local real estate agent in the Hampton Roads, Virginia region, and I help active duty military members and veterans just like you buy and sell property here every day. Hampton Roads has one of the largest concentrations of military members in the United States, with military installations representing all 6 branches. And I'm deeply committed to helping those who serve our country find the perfect home. Today, we're going to cover exactly what you need to do to use your VA loan and buy a home here in Hampton Roads. First, let's quickly cover the basics. The VA loan is a benefit for eligible service members, veterans, and certain military spouses. It allows you to buy a home with 0 down payment, no private mortgage insurance, and competitive interest rates. It's backed by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, and it's an incredible tool for building long-term wealth and creating stability for you and your family. When you're PCSing, this loan can make your transition smoother by helping you secure housing near your new duty station. Locally, we have a shortage of base housing, and oftentimes it's not guaranteed. Renting off base is always an option, but wouldn't you rather put your BAH to work building equity in an appreciating asset? I know I would. Let's dive into how you can use your VA loan effectively. The first step is understanding your VA loan entitlement. This is the amount the VA guarantees for your home loan. Here in Hampton Roads, the 2025 VA loan limit is $806,500, while certain high-cost areas like New York City or San Francisco top out over $1.2 million. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you can buy an $800,000 house. There's more to it to determine how much you can afford. And if you've used your VA loan before, don't worry, you can use it again. Even if you already own a home with a VA loan somewhere else, you may have remaining entitlement available that will allow you to buy another. Or you can restore your full entitlement by selling or refinancing your previous property. There are no limits to the number of times you can use your VA loan. The first step in determining your entitlement is to connect you with a local loan officer. Fortunately, I've partnered with the best in the region, and they're the ones who can get you pre-approved for your VA home loan. I often find that first-time homebuyers using their VA loan are under the impression they're going to get their mortgage directly from the VA. While the VA can give you eligibility information, they don't actually generate your mortgage. We'll connect you with a great loan officer for that. In this sense, getting a VA loan is very similar to getting a conventional or an FHA mortgage, which are the primary mortgage types available to civilians. If you look in the description of this video, you'll see a link to apply with my preferred loan officer, which only takes about 20 minutes or so to fill out. So that's a great place to get started. In order to pre-approve you for your loan, you'll need to provide some documentation. That'll include your certificate of eligibility, recent pay stubs, 2 months of bank statements, and a copy of your orders for being transferred to the area. The loan officer will guide you through this process and explain your options. And in most cases, they'll even pull your COE for you. If you're PCSing, let them know your timeline so they can expedite the process if needed. Of course, they'll need to check your credit score too. And while there is no official minimum score required by the VA, most lenders will set their own credit score requirements with minimum scores ranging from as low as 580 up to about 640, depending on current market conditions. There are other important things to remember about your VA loan. While you may not have to put any money down on the loan itself, you still have closing costs. These are the fees and expenses incurred during the process of purchasing a home. Closing costs typically include charges for the loan origination, appraisal, title insurance, credit report, taxes, and other services required to finalize the mortgage. Those generally run about 3 to 4% of the sales price and are an out-of-pocket expense for you due at settlement. It is possible to negotiate for the seller to pay a portion or even all of your closing costs, but that's going to be market and property specific. In our current climate, it's far from a guarantee. Closing costs cannot be rolled into your mortgage. The funds, however, can come in the form of gift money from an immediate family member. Our loan officer can give you more details on how that part works. In addition to closing costs, VA loans have what's called a VA funding fee. Assuming it's your first use and you're not putting any money down, this is equal to 2.15% of your loan amount and is rolled into your mortgage. The funding fee goes up to 3.3% upon subsequent use. Certain people may be exempt from paying the VA funding fee, including anyone with a 10% or higher disability rating, Purple Heart recipients, and the surviving spouses of soldiers who died in service or from service-connected disabilities. If you have a 100% disability rating, you'll also be exempt from property taxes in the state of Virginia. Your certificate of eligibility will have this information for the lender. Once you're pre-approved, you'll know both the maximum loan amount you qualify for, as well as monthly payment amounts at any price point up to your max. This will allow you to create a budget and shop for homes in the appropriate price range that's best for your financial situation. This is where I step in. Now that you're pre-approved and have your budget set, we can get out there and start looking at homes. Hopefully, you've been watching some of the other videos on my channel and are starting to get a feel for some of the areas you like. And if you're not in the area already, that's not a problem at all. Video tours are almost as common as in-person tours these days, and we use electronic signatures for all of our contract documents. I've sold many homes where the buyer hasn't stepped foot inside it until well after settlement, which means you could potentially have your own home waiting for you when you arrive to the area. Once we find a great home for you, we'll write an offer and negotiate with the seller and their agent. When we have a ratified contract, in most cases, we'll do a home inspection to check for any defects in the property. Assuming that goes well, the next big step in using your VA loan is for the lender to order your appraisal. Once the appraisal order is into the VA, they'll assign a VA certified appraiser to go out to the property and put a value on the home. Ideally, that value will come in at or above sales price. If it comes in below, you have the option to renegotiate the sales price with the seller, or you can make up the difference with cash at closing. And if neither of those options work, you have the option to terminate the contract at no penalty to you. They'll also check the condition of the property to make sure it meets VA standards. Typical items they're looking out for are considered safety in nature and can, for example, include things like handrails where there are 3 or more stairs, peeling paint, or severely damaged deck boards. It's for this reason that it can be much more difficult to purchase fixer-uppers with a VA loan, especially when they're in disrepair and being sold as is. So those are things we need to be on the lookout for when we're house hunting. Assuming appraisal goes well, we're on to final walkthrough and closing. Typically, this whole process takes about 30 days from contract to close. Depending on circumstances, it can be faster than that, or it can take a little bit longer. It's also important to note that you must move into your home within 60 days of closing when purchasing with a VA loan. So if you do purchase in advance of your PCS, then we need to make sure we don't close too far out in order to avoid financial penalties and legal consequences. Speaking of closing, your settlement paperwork here in Virginia can't be e-signed. You have to sign in person. If you're here for settlement, that's great. We'll head right into the settlement attorney's office to sign, and I hand you the keys to your new home right there and then. If you're not here, but you are within the contiguous 48 states, the attorney's office can send a notary public to meet with you and sign your settlement paperwork. If you're anywhere outside the contiguous 48 states, you'll need to assign power of attorney to someone, usually a family member, in the US to sign on your behalf. And in that case, I'll hold on to your keys and hand them to you in person when you arrive. Okay, that's everything you need to know about using your VA loan when you PCS to Hampton Roads. I know PCSing is a big change, but using your VA loan can make the process of buying a home easier and more affordable. It's one of the many ways our nation shows appreciation for your service, and I'm honored to help you make the most of it. If you have any questions about your VA loan or the home buying process here in Hampton Roads, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. You can call, text, or email anytime. If you're ready to start looking online at homes, I'll have a link to my website in the description. That's the best place to look for homes in Hampton Roads, and you can connect directly with me through there as well. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with anyone else you know PCSing to the area, and subscribe to this channel. My name is David Tortolini. I'm with eXp Realty. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your service.